places in the corners and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I think she did a fantastic job with this while also being in charge of installing all of Edgar's new furniture that he buys.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
So
anyway, I heard from Nathaniel and Michael about just the consistent ineptitude of the judiciary. So that's great to hear.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I think it's the main reason I'm not running this next election. The recent things that have occurred just make me realize how much worse it's gotten.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no, the way that I can put it this way is like, okay, I'll give you some of the high hitting points. The VAF legislation was written by the police department and the DOJ tried to push it, which is not how it's supposed to work. They are supposed to come to you and me and push it forward so that we can represent the people. So skipping all that is a massive question mark. What made it more egregious is, myself and my cabinet, like way back when the governor came through and there was all the ruckus?
Yes.
That document that was made and published, it took us 3 months for them to finally finish it and agree to it. 3 months, which should have been done in a week.
Yep.
And they kept dragging their feet, finally agreed to it, and they immediately ignored it, right? So it's kind of like, what was the point of the 3 months if you're just going to not follow the rules? And, it's what else? I mean, there's a slew of other things. They've been moving money around. They used Barrick's program for researching car parts and used it to extort money.
What?
Yeah. And when Barrick saw it, he was like, well, how is this money being earmarked? I'm the leader of this program. So I never approved it. It's just, there's just so much stuff that it's kind of like the only thing you can really do as mayor. I mean, there's like little things here and there, but when it comes to like real problems, how are we supposed to do anything when the DOJ just is not subject to the rules? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So
I think this is something I just talked to Nathaniel about, that I think the DOJ has kind of, and to some extent it's my fault, and I guess Mumbles too, for not like working closely enough with you, but because the mayors are divided in two, the DOJ has kind of decided to believe that rather than the mayors being the primary legislative authority for the state, they see it as them being the federal government and us being the state government.
Exactly. Agreed. Yeah, it's exactly that.
So again, that's kind of on me, unfortunately, but then it's a hilarious irony that this most recent legislation about the voting, the election process,
yes,
that's a one that we both signed on to, and they said, we don't know how to handle this, let's go to the government.
Exactly that. I mean, it's the same thing that happened with the property law I put up. Me and Mumbles signed that, and it got, I don't know how to put this in words. You'll notice there's no response to it. It was the same problem. They didn't know if we could do it. And I'm just like, you're the justices.
Right. Well,
you just need to read the words in the Constitution.
Yeah, and it's not up to them whether we can do it or not.
Exactly. And all that legislation said is, if you own something, I mean, I'm sure you read it. If you have something, it's legal unless explicitly made illegal. How is this like, it's a right to liberty. Like, it's a right to property. Like, how is that like a challenging concept?
For sure.
So
yeah, and they've done that a lot, where they do like illegal until proven otherwise kind of thing. I mean, I know we have differing opinions on this to some extent, but that's also what they did with the right to vote for lifers, because they had that right, and then when the legislation giving them that right was removed, and there was nothing saying whether they could or could not vote, they went, they can't vote unless there's something in writing saying they can, as opposed to the opposite.
Oh my God, it's crazy. It's these sort of things where it just, I'm just kind of tired. You know what I mean? Maybe.
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Too tired to, try to put the fire out from inside the house. You're not gonna go for justice.
No. I think I got too much other shit. I kind of look at it like this. I volunteered, donated my time to the city.
Yeah.
A lot of people put their trust in me. But I spent 9 months like Hodor from Game of Thrones, holding the door from the from the DOJ effectively.
Mm-hmm.
And with every victory came many losses. Losses in which neither you, I, Mumbles, Pred could actually participate in. Like the fine charges. I'll tell you right now, that 10x fine charges on these things literally is creating violence. We could say it's the guns, we could say it's this, we could say it's that, but it's incentivized police to get into shootouts to pay for their upgrades. Right. It's a cooked system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
how did your what was the weekend experiment that you did where you 50%ed all the fines? How did that go?
I'm waiting to hear the feedback. Okay. But I think really what it comes down to is, well, we need a couple more of those tests, I think. But
for sure.
I think a big part of it is the belief that punitive charges are a good way to change behavior is not it. It doesn't work in San Andreas when the police force, this is going to sound crazy. It's not meant to be crazy. There's no other way to. We have very good medical services, and they know that, right?
Yep.
So, let me ask you: if you jumped off a building and I told you I'd give you $10 million, would you do it?
Old question. I see what you're saying, though. I see the.
You would probably say no in a lot of play, but a lot of people would do it.
Yeah, no, I totally, understand exactly. What you're saying,
Oh man.
Well, that's why I think it was the governor who said this first, and I can't remember who told me of it, but legislation in San Andreas needs to make sense for San Andreas. If it doesn't make sense in other places, that doesn't mean that it's wrong here.
I agree. And I think that's what I really wanted to see. I wanted to see like a true sorry, you got AI. Sorry, one sec. I say AI mod. It auto deleted what you just said, 808. Be careful. I really wanted to see democracy play out. And I think for me, that's the unfortunate thing. And while it is true that I could have gone full evil, you could have gone full evil, right? Or anyone else that has had these.
I haven't.
Have you though? Like, I don't think so.
No, I haven't. But I feel like I could probably pull it off in this throne room.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, right?
It is kind of an evil. Yeah, no, I know exactly.
It's you could start having people come in here. You got the fireballs going or something like that.
Yeah, guillotine in the middle of the room.
Yes.
I mean, look, it was very. I definitely considered the whole Kyle getting his jetpack stuff. I was like, oh, this is a precedent I could use if I wanted to get myself something nice. But, I'm specifically not doing that because it's more important to do good for Blaine County.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, I did ask for the design of this to be kind of like castle-y, but it's a town hall. A lot of stuff is happening in here. Hardy's getting married in here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! When's that gonna happen?
I think the 12th, I believe.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it should be cool.
I am here to discuss something. Oh, God. 1 second. Hey, Opal. How can I help you?
Hey, Mr. Mayor. I just remembered we never had a chance to finish our talk about me wanting to purchase a warehouse for TRT.
We can certainly discuss that. Now's probably not the best time, though. Yeah, I got a bunch of things lined up.
Should I try again tomorrow?
Try it, but closer to the storm.
Sounds good. You gonna be at the? Ooh, I can't actually do after the meeting. I had a thing. Yeah, I'll try just before.
Okay, beautiful.
All right.
All
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Hey,
Bye-bye.
appreciate you. You take care. Hey, actually. Hey, out of curiosity, how do I go about visiting the folks that are in the little secure building? What's the process?
Oh, you wanna visit Edgar or Mr. Buddha?
Yeah. I want to see how they're being treated, how it's working out, all that kind of stuff.
I'll be honest, the living conditions ain't it, but that was not up to me.
I'd love to have like a one-on-one outside, just kind of be like, is it working? Is it not working? That kind of thing. You know what I mean? So, in case in the future we got to write some legislation around it.
I honestly would love that because I think, listen, the house.
Why didn't I do this before? I literally just came up with it.
Perfect if we could have like just state-owned houses for one state-owned house, to be honest, for that purpose, because that house is not great, and if we had something state-owned, that'd be perfect. You can just head up there, and then they will 3-on-1 that you're here, unless you're visiting Buddha. He does not have to do that.
Should I give you a call? We can go both up there. I'll get their perspective individually. I get your perspective, and then how does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds. You want to do that right now?
Tomorrow might be better because I got a bunch of things lined up.
Yeah. Well, Buddha will be off house arrest tomorrow, but Edgar will still be there. So.
Oh, in the morning?
Yeah. Mr. Buddha's court case is tomorrow, an hour after our meeting, the PD meeting.
Oh. Wait. Oh.
Me too.
So if he's found guilty, does he go back to the house?
Well, he would. Well, he would go to prison, but I don't know if I feel comfortable putting him in prison where there's little lifers trying to kill him every day. So I want to request that he just be put on house arrest, but in his own home this time.
Oh, that's smart. Okay.
Yeah.
How about tomorrow after storm? How does that sound?
Yeah, I can skip the meeting.
Yeah. Okay, easy. We can go right over there. All right.
Yep,
okay.
Sounds good.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Opal. All right.
All right, bye-bye.
You take care. Bye.
What's funny about the house arrest stuff is that a lot of the rules that they're putting, that they're saying for visitation isn't actually listed on the bail conditions. And so, and I talked to V about this, Edgar's parole officer, because, technically, according to the docket, Edgar's allowed to have a one-on-one. He can have one visitor at a time inside the house with no police present. Because the way it's written, it says that, he can have one-on-ones or more if it's, more visitors if approved by police. And so I told V about this. I was like, it doesn't seem like that's what you intended. And he basically said, well, we're just, people aren't going to break that, like it'll good faith. Like you cannot expect people here to act in good faith and just assume that that's going to be enough. People will absolutely use those loopholes.
That I 100% agree. And on that subject, I am about to put up a new piece of legislation that I'd love to see you co-sign.
Interesting.
It is it is the authority for the mayors to pardon and issue commutation. if that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, Michael told me about this one. I'm curious.
Yes.
I'm curious to learn more about it.
I'll put it up. I kind of want to get it up in advance of this. Primarily because
They're pushing death penalty.
I don't know. Well, it's not just that. So the pardon. So I'll break it down for you. The idea is that you can pardon the death penalty, right? So that's going to be the authority to issue a pardon. It is the removal of a death penalty. But then there's the authority to issue a commutation. I don't know how you actually pronounce it, but that's the word. It's COMM, commutation, I think. Anyways.
Okay.
Which is the removal of a life sentence. Now, this would only be applicable to those that have been a life sentence handed out in open court, like in San Andreas. So it does not.
Not
Yes, exactly. It doesn't cover like out of state for obvious reasons. Which, and this and the idea is that if it happens in Los Santos County, it becomes my decision. If it happens in your county, it becomes your decision. The idea is to prevent death and to prevent someone from getting life, but it would require them to issue the formal request, and then the mayors sort of can make that decision. If it becomes
you mean the crime has to happen in Los Santos County or Blaine County, or the
correct?
The crime?
The crime. Yes.
So what if, hypothetically though, what does that mean for crimes that occur on state land?
Well, that is where you and I signing it together would come into play. That if we sign it, it would become common law. And the idea behind common law would be if it becomes a state concern. So let me give you examples. If the murder was found to have been done down south, then it becomes Los Santos County. If the murder were to happen in the north, it becomes Blaine County. Where's the murder? Where was the actual murder take place? If, however, it becomes something that becomes like a statewide concern, like state ground, or alternatively, it becomes like a something that spans both counties, both mayors have to come to the agreement.
Interesting. Okay. What would your thoughts be? I guess I feel like the issue here, I can already see that it would create the concern, but if both mayors had to agree to...
Wait.
Oh, hi, Delver.
Hey.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt.
Did you just shoot someone outside?
Me? No.
That was a very sussy no.
No, sorry. No, I was taking out the garbage. Oh, no, that sounds more sus. No, I didn't shoot anyone.
It does sound more sus.
Yeah, I originally heard what I thought was like 2 gunshots, and then you walked in and said all that.
I was just outside. I didn't hear any gunshots.
Oh shit! All right.
Everything you say sounds concerning, but I know
Everything
that
I
that's
just
kind
said
of
was
just
true.
you.
Yeah.
I feel like with anyone else, I wouldn't believe you, but because it's you, Delver, I kind of believe you.
Yeah, and I was just on the phone with I was talking to Barrick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know you guys were in here. I'm just
That's
gonna do
fine.
my phone calls outside.
You're good.
There's multiple spaces. You can do it in my office.
I don't know, it's so quiet in here now though. It's like I was gonna do like I was just gonna wander around on the phone, but like I don't want to do that when
It's a
you
fun
guys are
place
having a
to
meeting,
wander
you
the
know?
halls. I understand that. Okay.
So like, you know, I'll just be outside, okay? I'll be
Okay, Delver.
That was ominous.
He's great. Love that guy.
Yeah. Is he normally like that, or is he, you know?
Always. Every single day.
Oh, gotcha.
He's also been running our BBL. Have you heard of that?
No.
Blaine Business Leaders. That's our, the
Oh!
Shark Tank style thing where we're interviewing for
Okay.
all the different potential business owners who are going to get access to the
Yeah.
storefronts here.
Very good. I like that.
I'm ignoring this. So anyway, I was saying I see why this would be an issue, but I wanted to present it anyway, just to discuss maybe whether, because it seems like there's things that might be state concerns but might not be state concerns. So what would your thoughts be on both mayors having to agree to it, or at least having
I like
veto
that.
power over a pardon?
I like the idea that both have to agree to it.
I think just because, let's say it's I don't know, like someone, commits a murder in Los Santos County, but the person that they murder is a
Belena?
a pillar of Blaine County,
Oh,
like a Chaos Legion member or something. I don't know. Or a BCSO member.
I am okay with that idea, and that's kind of why I wanted to have the conversation. Is I was gonna do it anyways, because I was hoping, I don't know, maybe you're like pro murder or whatever. I don't,
Not usually.
But I was I'm down to do it that way. I think that's actually a fantastic idea. It comes like two sign-offs. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's strictly removal of death sentence and strictly, I think the word is like the commutation. Yeah, where it's like it's no longer life, at least.
So what's preventing the judge of the case from saying, okay, you're not going to get life, but you're going to get 100 years?
I think that this is a good first step.
Okay.
Because and I actually agree with your line of thinking where you're going with this. Is that they could say you get the nines in 999 like years.
Not technically death.
Yeah.
Not technically life,
But I feel like this is effectively getting the foot in the door, and then we slowly. It's one thing that I learned very early on is that if it's something that's like new and very potentially controversial, it's good to start small, and then when that gets in, evolve it again. Otherwise, we end up in this, right here, they're going to have two contention points. Should the mayors prevent a death? Should the mayors allow the removal of a life sentence? Those are only two talking points. We go add the others, now it becomes like 5 or 6, right? And
right.
Yeah.
And I know it's, I'm sure that you have the same issue, and I've experienced it with myself, but also, just from spending time with Kyle and Mumbles both, is that that's like the number one thing that people ask for when they see the mayor. Is like, hey, can I get a pardon? Or hey, can my friend get a pardon? And so I think it is good to limit that, especially because of the, I think that the 2 mayor thing is good, just because of the concern that what if there is a bias, if the mayor happens to be, good friends with the person who is getting the death penalty or something. But it is an egregious act, or if they don't like them, but but that person seems, like they shouldn't be getting the death penalty.
Say that one more time. Sorry.
So I guess if let's say someone's going on the stand for the death penalty, and I don't like that person, so I'm like, I don't really think that they should get pardoned. I guess that kind of does the opposite thing, but hopefully no one would just refuse a pardon just because they don't like someone.
I mean, that can happen, right? And that is a reality. And this, that's kind of what happens as well, right? Like, so I presidents sometimes pardon everyone at the end of their term. They're like, oh, what are you going to do now? But, I think, they would have to wait for the next mayoral term. And
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think that
I like that bypass kind of thing.
Yeah, like if they request it, they could re-request it in the future. And actually,
but
I'm
that
gonna put
obviously
that bit
doesn't work if they're gonna get the death penalty.
Yes.
Unless we
that
have
is
like
correct.
a 4-month death row.
Yeah. I think we should maintain the pardon. Okay, let me give you an alternative. And I'm thinking about it this way, in that there can be circumstances where a mayor effectively disappears, right? That's a reality. It's 3 months, whoever wins, they end up disappearing. I think that if the death happens in Los Santos County, it's up to the Los Santos County mayor. The DOJ decides, is it a statewide or is it in the county? You know what I mean? I'm spitballing here, so feel free to push back.
Right.
And the other mayor can, like, veto it, right? Has a like a 3-day veto period.
I like that. I think that's a good. I think the 3-day veto period.
Yes.
I think maybe either mayor can pardon someone and the other mayor can veto it, just because I worry that there's. I mean, to begin with, at least some of the DOJ is going to be conflicted automatically because someone's got to be doing the trial.
Yep.
What if it required, and I'm also spitballing here, what if it required a sign-off of both mayors, but in lieu of one of the mayors, if one of the mayors refuses, or, something along those lines, or isn't around, then the mayor that is interested in pardoning someone can request a sign-off from another authority, like, I don't know, like a majority of the DOJ or something like that.
I don't think the DOJ should be involved in this.
But if they are involved in deciding whether something is a state issue or a county issue, then they'll still have the ability to, like, if they don't want someone pardoned, then they'll just say it's a state issue, because that
let's leave it to what you said. Either mayor can put it in, and then the other can repeal it, like can veto it.
Okay, yeah, I like that. If one of them can veto it.
But if they both do it,
Bobby?
then it automatically goes through. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Let's leave, because I'm gonna be. DOJ has plenty of things to do that they don't do anyways. I don't want them to have more red tape in their hands.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I know I have 11, 12 days left of my mayoral term, my very short mayoral term.
Yeah.
And 3 pieces of legislation that are currently done, but I haven't put on the docket yet because last time I put 3 things on the docket at once, Murray came to me and basically he didn't really, I don't know why he was telling me this, because he didn't tell me to do anything differently.
Yeah.
But he basically said like that because there were 3 at once and the contest period wasn't staggered, people were upset that they didn't have time to read all of the legislation or something to therefore contest it, even though it did take longer than 9 days to actually have all of the legislation constitutionality checked anyway, so it was enough time anyway. But I want to put my legislation through in a way that I can do that and not run out of time before my mayoral term ends. But I don't want to do that and then have this legislation, the pardon legislation.
Didn't I already post this out? What the fuck, Mehdi?
Overwork the DOJ. They have dainty hands, they can't sign so many documents.
Yeah, I know. God forbid, like all the shit we got to do, Okay.
So should I hold off on posting legislation or no?
I think we send this before tomorrow. I think.
Okay.
And
then I like what you did last time with the signing it separately after the legislation is posted, so it's not like you can't just be like, oh yeah, the other person totally signed this.
Yes,
like
that's exactly what the reason was. It was so that because I trust Michael, right? But it's not a trust thing. It's more, what if we made a last second adjustment, right? And your signature was already on there, remember there was like a thing I wanted removed. I don't remember what it was, but I was worried DOJ might get hung up on it. So I don't even remember what it was. Whatever the section is that has to be removed. It was like section D. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
If I removed it, your signature was on there, but did you agree to it or not? That make sure that there's no confusion.
Yeah, 100%.
So.
And Michael and I did talk back and forth about certain aspects of it as well, because, and I still think that the concern is relevant, even though that there's, you know.
Do you remember what it was?
So what I was concerned about, for one thing, was the fact that there was nothing. Oh, the original writing said that an individual couldn't register for 2 elected positions simultaneously. But then I was concerned that, you know, it doesn't say that they couldn't hold those 2 positions simultaneously if the elections.
That was a good change. Yeah.
And then I think the concern though continues, and I guess to fix that in you know without adding a bunch of crazy caveats, Michael just changed it to the elections have to happen jointly. But my concern was that if the DOJ wanted to prevent someone from becoming mayor, they could stagger the election so that an individual, like, it would be up to them and their timing whether someone would be able to run for Los Santos, lose, and then decide to run for Blaine County, or whether applications would be too fast and they would not be able to register for 2 at the same time.
Isn't that kind of messed up that we have to preemptively consider DOJ doing dumb shit?
Absolutely.
Like,
and
the fact that that's even a
valid concern because they've already done it.
Yes. That has literally been my mayorship for 9 months. It's like, like, oh my God, your stuff is too overcooked. It makes no sense. And then it's like, you make it simple and they're like, haha, let's, you know, do whatever the fuck we want because, I don't know, 100%. English is hard or something.
Yeah. And I definitely.
Oh, the removal of path of succession. That's what was removed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wanted
that definitely needs more.
Yes.
And maybe separate legislation.
Exactly.
It definitely needs to be legislated, but it needs more work.
Yeah. I didn't want the mayor and because like I know you had your own thing of doing it, right? Like if you, I'm gonna use hyperbole here. If you wanted to do like a whole kingdom system, right, with knights and like whatever's, right? It shouldn't. You should be able to decide what all that means. Whereas like if I was in Los Santos County and I said, oh, there's like the CEO of the money or whatever, you know, like leave it to the creativity of the mayor to decide.
100%. And the fact that, you know, just based on the current like sign-in ability or key holder positions, you know, you can have as many deputy mayors as you want or none. You know, there's the whole neither of us. Weiss told me that I can't have a treasurer. I don't know if that's when I took the oath and I said, okay, so how does it work with, you know, treasurers? Because I want someone to be able to access the account. And Weiss said, I don't think that's a thing we do. And Danielson said, well, you know, Pred had it. Pred had Leah doing his treasury stuff. And essentially it came down to they don't have the authority to give someone a treasurer position. And so I can't.
Wait.
They can't do that. So they would have to.
Who said that?
Essentially, Weiss said that. Basically,
that's not
they
true.
need. Well, they don't. I think the consensus was they need the governor's permission. And I kind of understand why it's hard to have someone like why
I guarantee that's not true. Because
I get why it's an appointed, like it's an appointed position, and so having someone with full access to the bank account without having been elected, I can see that being an issue, but it's still not ideal.
I'm pretty sure before Mumbles, people and before Pride, people had access separately to the Treasury.
Mm-hmm.
So. I mean, I guess some of this comes back to some of the justices' issues are self-inflicted, where it is their fault, for lack of a better word. But then there is other things, perhaps like in this space, where it's not really their fault. They just don't know, right? So they might be afraid of doing things, which is reasonable.
I mean, I think a lot of the DOJ concerns can come down to that one. I forget which law it is or what the name of it is, but never attribute to malice what can be attributed to stupidity.
That
I think a lot of it is not malicious intent. It's just not being aware of what is and isn't within their jurisdiction, not knowing the sort of like functional legal definitions for certain words. I was lamenting about this to Nathaniel that the word enact in the Constitution carries so much weight according to the DOJ because they feel as though the fact that they can enact legislation means that they have the ability to, end to end, write it, propose it, constitutional check it.
The governor really said that they don't, which is the funniest thing. And Weiss was there. Three of them were there, but it's. But I think some of it is stupidity, but some of it, I think we're in agreement. It's like the line is a little blurred. There's also if you act dumb, you can get away with quite a bit. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, oopsie. For sure. You know what I mean? Oopsie, my bad, teehee. And then what happens? Well, everyone pays for it, but anyways.
Eventually someone finds out and the impeachment happened, but it's too late.
I'm gonna totally agree. I'm gonna try to wrap up this piece of legislation. I'll send it up, and I'm gonna try to get you to review it in advance.
I appreciate that because I want to make sure that it's all read through.
Easy.
Just in case.
Yes, absolutely. What I'll do is I'm gonna go work on that now. I should have something in the next 30 minutes, and if you could look over it, let me know if there's any concerns, because I want to get it up before tonight.
Sounds good.
All right.
And I'm gonna wait on my legislation, like posting any of it to the docket, just until at least the justices have a little bit of time to look over yours, so that they don't get overwhelmed by the massive influx of legislation, and then decide
oh my God, not
wait
wrong.
a day or something.
I appreciate it. All right. You take care.
Thank you so much, Nino.
I literally could have asked Opal this entire time. The idea popped up in my mind. I'm like, I literally can just say I'm up there for mayoral shit. Wait,